my friend from the state of Florida, Mr. Soto, for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Chairman. Autonomous vehicles are part of a bold future for the United States. And I envision many benefits and also recognize challenges that we're going to have to negotiate through. I think about the empowerment for so many Americans. We've heard from Mr. Riccobono already about how it could help Americans with disabilities, also seniors and young people. Advancements in technology could increase public safety, as was testified by Mr. Shapiro and others. We have challenges, though, obviously. We have a long road ahead to advance the technology. We have job disruptions in training and retraining that are real, and we want to make sure to get on the proactive side of it. We need to ensure these systems are resilient to cyber attacks and ensure we have access to the courts in the case of negligence. In Central Florida, we have BEEP, which is the longest running local transit system in the nation, way back in 2019. That's how new this technology is. They take veterans in Lake Nona from different areas in the city to the VA hospital. They take families to Nemours for cancer treatment, and tourists around the Lake Nona area. They've also been used in Chairman Bilirakis' area in Tampa Bay. I'm sure he's familiar with. And so we need to encourage companies like this with new and innovative technology. We also need to see where we need to delineate between what new laws NHTSA needs and what existing authority they already have. Mr. Bozella and Mr. Koopman, Dr. Koopman, my first question is, so NHTSA has exemption authority and expertise already. Take these bills aside for a second, right? This is where we're kind of going. What do you think is the additional authority and guidance they will need to keep pace with the development of autonomous vehicles? We'll start with Mr. Bozella and then go to Mr. Koopman.
Thank you for the question. I think the most important thing NHTSA needs is data. What they need is they need to understand what's working. They need the data to be able to modernize motor vehicle safety standards. Right now, those standards depend on feet and hands and eyes. And so vehicles without steering wheels and pedals need modernized standards. So the agency needs the data. What both bills do is give NHTSA a framework for that, to collect that data at a much greater rate and more quickly to modernize those standards.
Dr. Koopman, what additional authority does NHTSA need, do you think?
I think there's two things they need. The first is that traditionally they have not enforced the general government desire to make use of existing industry consensus engineering standards. And NHTSA has not done that historically. The framework proposed in 2020 goes there, and I think that they need encouragement. They may even need a mandate to go down that path and figure that out. The second thing is they need more staffing. They are chronically understaffed in computer expertise. They have a small ability to hire now in that area, but they've been understaffed for a couple decades, and they need to really beef up their capabilities in that area to keep up with this technology. And that's probably going to require funding.
So the appropriations process cutting 15% off of NHTSA's budget this year from the President's request probably wouldn't be helpful. Dr. Koopman, you talked about potential new jobs, better jobs, training. For a lot of folks who are concerned about the future of autonomous vehicles, can you elaborate on some of those examples?
Some examples are, we heard earlier that if there's a problem in the middle of the ride, which my friends tell me this is happening regularly, that there's a remote staff to help people out. Well, those are jobs that are going to be created that aren't there now. Another one is going to be higher skilled technicians and higher skilled safety drivers, because every new software release, which will happen monthly or weekly, basically forever, needs testers to make sure it's safe before it's put out in the wild. And another one is some of the jobs will be there but change in nature. Somebody still has to babysit a hazardous load even if the truck is driving itself. Someone's got to be there to unload the crates until that part gets automated. So I think there's a lot of different opportunities, but they're a little bit different than just a driver behind the wheel.
Thank you. And there are concerns about our constituents' rights, like access to the courts, avoiding forced arbitration, designating manufacturers as the responsible entities, protecting state laws and common laws. And Mr. Chairman, we have a letter from dozens of consumer groups talking about these types of concerns. If I move to introduce them.
Yeah, without objection, so ordered.
And I yield back.